Welcome back to the Figures and Flippy Shit Wrestling podcast. Make sure you grab your big ornate jackets, grab any special tools you're going to need, ramp up that pyro budget, prepare for a long walk down a very long ramp. It's Wrestlemania season.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
This is probably the most excited for Wrestlemania that we've been since we've been watching.
Yeah.
Everything on the card looks fun.
Yes.
Night one especially is going to be great. We forgot to note what our predictions were before we pressed record.
It's all good.
So what we're going to do is tonight we're going to do we're going to do a live stream tonight of WrestleMania Night 1 on YouTube, so you can watch along with us. And then we're going to do the same for tomorrow, Night 2. Now, a couple announcements in regards to other shows. We were going to do a live stream for NXT Stand and Deliver, but honestly, it's just so much. So we're just going to watch it for fun, and we'll touch on it a little bit on next week's episode. For Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, we're just going to watch that for fun. We're not going to do a video on it, mainly because we don't have time. But I do know some of the results. And I know one thing that we want to do before we dive in is we want to send our best to Dante Martin. Yes. Dante Martin suffered a pretty horrific injury last night. If you've seen the video, basically his 2 feet are going different directions. One of them is going the correct way. But we got to meet Dante on the cruise. He's one of the nicest people you'd ever meet. I mean, he's
kind of very shy.
He is. And like, you know, with as old as I am and as old as he is, it feels like he's just a kid. He is.
Yeah.
But he's not. He's a grown man that can do grown man things. But we just want to send the best to Dante Martin for his recovery. Hopefully he'll be back soon because that dude's the future.
Yes.
He's definitely one of the pieces of the future.
Yes.
Sure. Before we dive into the content of wrestling this week, do not forget, if you're watching us on YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button, leave a comment, let us know how things are going. With that being said, let's go ahead and dive in. So the first thing that we always cover every week is the Bloodline story. And honestly, whenever the Bloodline story ends, I don't know how we're going to start the show. Yeah. Like, I've had that thought of once the Bloodline's gone, it's like, okay, what do we start with?
Well,
it's kind of like, maybe we should start it like a Cody Rhodes promo and just be like, figures and flippy shitters. What do you want to talk about?
The Bloodline, though, they were one of the main things this week with WWE that actually had a story progression.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of. We're not going to have a ton to talk about with WWE this week because they did a lot of stuff with video packages. I think the women's title matches probably should have got another segment to try to heat them up a little bit more because the reception on those is kind of lukewarm.
I will say that Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley's video package was kind of good.
Yeah. So we'll start with Cody and the Bloodline. Cody wrestled Solo on Raw. Solo has his first loss in WWE now because of Cody. And as much as I love Cody, I don't know that Cody needed to beat Solo and Roman. I think Solo should have lost to Kevin Owens. I think Kevin Owens should have been able to give Solo his first loss.
Why Kevin Owens?
I don't know. I just feel like, I feel like Cody dethroning Roman is going to be enough. Although, you could make the argument, maybe he beat Solo because he's not beating Roman.
Yeah, I mean, we don't, I feel like it's just known that Cody's going to win, though. Mm-hmm. I feel like everybody just knows that, but we could totally be swerved.
Yeah, but there's enough in there to go otherwise. Like, you don't think WWE is tempted the fact that Roman is only 60 days away from a 1,000-day reign? You don't think that's tempting to them?
Yeah, but I feel like it's just probably part of Cody Rhodes' like deal.
Yeah, probably.
He probably was like, that was part of the deal. He was going to get the title.
Yeah. And he should win the title. And I keep saying this every week, and I'm going to keep saying it because as we talk about with AEW later, I almost willed something into existence, but it went a different way. Cody should drop the title to Gunther at SummerSlam.
Oh.
Should absolutely happen. Absolutely happen.
Yes.
And Cody and Roman had a promo together on SmackDown, and anytime Cody and Roman are in the ring together, it's money. They haven't missed. Everything's been spot on. Roman really is at the top of his game.
He really is.
And doing it better than most.
Yes.
I would 100%
good for him,
agree
because
with
that man had to endure being booed so much whenever he was a face.
When he was the big dog.
People were not a fan of Roman Reigns, so he totally deserves this. This. I feel like it's gone its course. It's almost 1,000 days at this point. I think we're good. We get the point, but yeah.
We get the point.
We get the point, WWE.
Well, I just think that, it just shows how WWE was so close, yet so far. They knew they had somebody that was going to be generational. They just didn't know how to use them. And
there was even the point where Roman Reigns was going to walk from WWE because of the booking. Yeah, and he didn't... not recent.
And plus, he's a leukemia survivor. There was a global pandemic. He's like, I'm not going to go out there and risk my life.
Yeah, because it was during COVID he requested that, right?
Yeah, because he was off. He was off because of COVID. He was out for months.
Yeah.
Because that's why Braun Strowman beat Goldberg for the title at whatever WrestleMania. I think it was WrestleMania 36. I think it's the same one where Drew McIntyre beat Lesnar to silence, which sucks for Drew. Drew deserves a world title reign with a crowd at some point.
Yeah. There's a lot of wrestlers that the one wrestler, this isn't going off topic, I swear, talking about how wrestlers deserve their moments during COVID times. Brody Lee is that person, the person that comes to mind. Because he came to, I know this is jumping, but speaking about COVID though, he did his premiere to AEW. It was
supposed to be in his hometown.
So, and obviously he's passed away at this point, so he's one person I feel like, he deserves that. He did.
And the way to look at it too is, AEW did try.
Yeah.
I mean, the effort was there.
No, it's not anybody's fault. I mean, it's COVID, but...
No, but the point that I'm making is that sometimes it happens by circumstance like that, and sometimes it happens because you don't realize what you have.
True. Very true.
Yeah. And WWE had a nasty habit of that for a long time, where they had people that were talented and didn't know what to do with them. I mean...
Like FTR, where they literally was doing... The Usos are making fun of bathroom skits or something.
Yeah. And another one you could go with. This one you could make a lesser argument for. But the main event of WrestleMania is based on guys that WWE didn't know how to use properly. But you could make an argument that Cody wasn't ready to be at that level until he did his Indies tour and built his name up. You could make that argument.
Yeah.
That probably actually is the better argument.
Yeah.
Because if you go back and watch Cody before, Cody had some fun stuff. He was dashing Cody Rhodes, and he grew the mustache, and he did some fun stuff.
Yeah.
But
I just remember him as Stardust.
But I think if Cody Rhodes had stayed in WWE all those years, we wouldn't have the Cody Rhodes that we know today.
I agree.
Yeah, and I think he'll tell you that he's better for it as well.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally what Vince told him, too.
Yeah, he was go out, make a name for yourself, and come back. And Cody went out, started competition, and
Boy went and did it.
He did. But that's pretty much going to cover the Bloodline story. KO and Sammy and the Usos did cut a promo against each other. Kevin Owens brings a lot of passion to what he does.
He does. I believe it was on SmackDown. Yeah, it was on SmackDown when the crowd didn't seem that hot for their promos that they were going. They had going back and forth between them and the Usos. And Kevin Owens, that's when he brought the heat. Whenever he was I'm going to get the people invested. He brought it after that.
The Bloodline story's cooking, as it has been for the last year. I'm excited for the conclusion.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where we go next.
Yes.
All right, so the next big story I feel going into WrestleMania is the Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio drama.
Oh my gosh. Dominic is such a little shit.
He is. He has really taken this heel role and run with it.
Yes, he has. He is.
And he looks like he's having the time of his life.
Yes.
But, I mean, if you look at pictures of the Judgment Day on social media, they look like they're all having the time of their lives.
They're all just best friends, just hanging out, doing their thing.
They're all the cool little cult.
Yes, I would join them.
Yeah, like, it's not really an intimidating prospect.
No.
It's more like a, hey, I'm down.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah. So then we had an introduction of something that if you've been a wrestling fan for a long time, that you'll probably remember from back in the WCW days. Ray presented Legado del Fantasma with LWO shirts.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if this is going to be a thing moving forward, or if this was just a fun one-off thing as part of like a WrestleMania thing.
I don't know. And did they know about those shirts beforehand? Because Zelina Vega looked really surprised.
I don't know.
Like, did you see like her face? Like, she looked very like, or damn, that girl needs to do some acting then, because she had me convinced that she knew nothing about that at all.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, under the new regime, they've done fun things like surprising Michael Cole with Pat McAfee, like at the Rumble.
True. I don't know. It was cute though.
Yeah, and it was a fun little segment, and I'm interested to see if it goes forward. I think I'd be fine either way. I think it would be fun to do like a redo of the LWO, but at the same time, I could see where it would just be a fun one-off nostalgia thing.
It was kind of fun though, because it kind of tied in with what Dom said. Dominic, because
Dominic finally said the thing.
He said that Eddie should have been his dad instead of Ray.
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero. So...
And the crowd reacted wonderfully.
Yes.
Because the way he said it, like, and it's like when Dom said it, he knew he had like a heat magnet waiting in the chamber. Like, he knew it was coming.
Anything he does is a heat magnet.
It does. Like, literally, he can just raise his arms.
People either legit, like, hate him as a wrestler, or people, like, respect him and hate him because he's, like, a good heel. Yeah. But either way, he's getting hate.
Yeah. And, I mean, we've been there live now for a Dominic Boo, and I gotta tell you, like, it's fun to be in the crowd for a big pop. It's just as fun to be in there when Dominic enters and everyone just... And it's so fun. Like, it gets loud.
It's
lots
so
of
fun.
you sucks. Lots of middle fingers go flying in the air.
It's so fun.
It is.
So fun.
It is.
I guess they can't show the middle fingers on WWE, but it happens.
No, they can't even cut out the holy...
I mean, just picture Saraya walking down the ramp, how she always has her middle finger up. That's what's happening with Dominic.
Yeah. Literally, when I downloaded Saraya on 2K23, her picture, when you select her as a character, is her flipping the bird. Which was your suggestion, which ended up being an excellent suggestion. Speaking of heels, we'll go into the mid-card title pictures now. First is the U.S. title. Austin Theory's kind of had to build this himself since the beginning of March.
Yeah.
It's been fine.
And the match is a good promo.
Yeah, he's gonna come into his own even more. Yeah. Like how I said earlier that Dante Martin was the future. Austin Theory is definitely part of the future for WWE.
Oh,
he's gonna be a multi-time world champion.
Yes.
I think he's somebody that has the potential to go on a great heel and great face run. I think he could play both sides. Mm-hmm. But he cut a promo this week in an empty ring, which was an interesting choice.
Yeah. A little weird.
A little weird, but Austin Theory is kind of a little weird. But I'm excited for their match. I kind of think that the fact that the title's on the line is kind of a foregone conclusion of who's going to win.
Yeah, because I cannot see them giving it to John Cena.
But
he's never there.
But at the same time, they're opening the show, so like, why would you open it with a downer moment?
But does anybody really think that John Cena's going to win it? Like, would anybody be sad?
I don't know that they would be sad. Well, I don't know that sad's the right word, but it would kind of feel like, oh my God, that just happened. And that's how that would kick off your show. I think
it would make me mad, though, if he won.
You think you could be mad if John Cena won?
Yeah, I'm a girl that says every week that I'm okay having, like, the legend, get their moment to shine still, but not steal the thunder, not take the spotlight.
Yeah.
That would literally be giving the spotlight to John Cena, who is there a couple times a year. It's like a Brock Lesnar type thing. Mm-hmm. And I didn't like when he was the champ because he was never there.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it would get people drawn into the show.
Yeah.
Ugh. But that just seems like a cheap way to get the ratings. Like an easy, like a shortcut way to get it.
I don't know. I think it could go either way.
So you would be okay if John Cena won?
I think I'd be interested. It'd make me want to turn on Raw to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, but...
Okay, I'll give you a scenario where I'm good with it. Okay? So let's say, hypothetically, John Cena wins tomorrow night. And he's U.S. champion. Gunther loses his Intercontinental title Sunday night.
This is a lot of what ifs.
Okay, but yeah, this is how you fantasy book. It's all what ifs.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Okay, so Gunther's lost his Intercontinental title. John Cena's won the U.S. title. We get to Monday Night on Raw. Cena says, I'm feeling good. I'm ready to defend this thing. Comes out, defends it against Gunther, loses. We've successfully transitioned the U.S. title from heel to heel through the use of a face, which is a classic thing. And then you've put Gunther on the same show as Cody so he can chase Cody at SummerSlam.
But, I mean, that is a good scenario, but I still don't want John Cena to win.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Or you could have Gunther lose his title, come to Raw, get the U.S. title, have him win Money in the Bank. He loses his U.S. title at SummerSlam, cashes in on Cody at the end of the night.
Okay.
And he could cash in on Cody in a Cody Roman Reigns rematch.
Okay.
There you go. That's how we're okay with John Cena winning the U.S. title. Essentially, I'm pushing my agenda again. If John Cena wins the U.S. title, it's good for my story of Gunther being world champion.
Basically, you just want Gunther to be that champion.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
And even you, watching him this week, you were like, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, you were like, I get it with Gunther.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we had we'll move into the Intercontinental title scene, speaking of Gunther. We had Drew and Sheamus in a tag match against Kaiser and Vinci. And Michael Cole even made fun of the whole, we always say this, will they get along? Like, Michael Cole's just having the time of his life at the end of his career.
He is, yes.
Yeah. And there's a very interesting interview that he did yesterday that I would highly check out that talks about how he'd like to retire. And it's very interesting because Michael Cole literally treats WWE like a job. Like, he's like, I don't have any close friends there. My wife and kids don't watch the product. They're not wrestling fans. Yeah, he was like, I literally just go to my job, interact with my coworkers, and I go home.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Which is interesting because a lot of people talk about how WWE, like, consumes their life. And for somebody like Michael Cole that's been there so long, you would think he'd be one of those for sure. But it definitely sounds like for him, going to work at WWE is no different than us going to work at our job.
Yeah, except we're friends with our coworkers and we hang out with them.
Well, he says he's friendly with them. He'll talk to them. They'll exchange texts. But he said, I'm not going to go out to eat with them or anything like that. I'm not going to get that personal. He keeps everybody at arm's length.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, which is interesting. I've pretty much given away the crux of the interview, but it's interesting from somebody like Michael Cole.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd be so private, but I don't know.
I mean, when you do a job and where you're in the public eye for 26 years like that, and most of the people that you're in the public eye with talk about how you suck at your job, I could understand it.
That makes sense.
Which clearly, since Vince has gotten out of his ear, we've learned that Vince was the problem. Michael Cole was fantastic at his job.
Well, shocker.
Yeah, when he's
Vince was a problem.
Yeah. They had anyway. Sheamus and Sheamus and Drew McIntyre ended up winning the match anyway.
Yes.
I understand you don't want them to lose going into WrestleMania, but I also don't like that Imperium got fed to them.
I agree. I feel like they should have won. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like Sheamus and Drew shouldn't have been able to work that well together.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, because they were shoving each other and everything else.
So you just made literally a distracted Drew and Sheamus was able to defeat Gunther's henchmen, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. But I feel like Imperium for SmackDown is becoming like Alpha Academy on Raw, where they're relied on to put on a great match with somebody that you need to get over.
It kind of sucks though for both of those because they're both.
Yeah, but at the same time, the trade-off is look how powerful
on TV a lot.
That, and look how powerful Gunther has become, and that's who you're aligned with.
True.
So as a stable, they're in great shape.
They are.
Because they can take those losses where Gunther can't. They're kind of there to be able to get the comeuppance that Gunther can't get yet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it makes sense. So, yeah, that title, that triple threat's going to be... They kept saying yesterday it was going to be the hardest hitting match in Mania history, and I don't think WWE actually exaggerated on that one. I think it really will be... Those dudes are going to need an ice bath ASAP after they get out of there.
Yeah.
I'm super pumped for that match. Super pumped. And I agree with the comment I saw on Reddit. Big E should absolutely be on commentary for that match.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah. So, we alluded to it earlier. Let's talk about the women this week in WWE. So, Charlotte and Rhea was built with a video package. A good one.
It was a good one, yes.
A good one.
I just don't think Charlotte Flair does that great of promos.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But that was it, though.
I don't know. I feel like her promos don't really have emotions. Like, even when she got whatted and she was like, this is important to me, it was like, I didn't really feel any emotion with that. Like,
yeah, it's like,
now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, look at the promo that Becky Lynch cut on Raw against Io and Dakota.
Oh my god, she was so passionate. She was doing like the Darby Allin, like.
She's always done that in her promos.
Botchamania did a hilarious thing on. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Becky's on the next one for that. But, it also kind of makes sense because, like, if you were really passionate about something and you were going on a run like that, you would take those big breaths.
I would stutter. I wouldn't get through it.
No, Becky Lynch is really good. She's one of the best women promos in the game.
Yeah. I feel what she feels.
yeah. And I think, I know her and Charlotte don't really get along anymore, but I think Charlotte needs to watch a few more Becky Lynch promos. Because I don't know that anybody cuts a better women's promo in wrestling than Becky Lynch does. And that's not just because I love Becky Lynch. I think that just speaks to her talent.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody.
No,
I can't think of anybody at all right now.
I mean, I remember when she, a few years ago, she eviscerated Ronda Rousey.
Oh my god, yes.
It was like throwing a piece of meat into a lion's den.
Ronda tried, but it just...
Yeah. Like where Charlotte Flair has no emotion, Ronda Rousey to me comes off as trying to be tough.
Yes.
She comes off a little trying too hard.
Even though I know she's legit tough.
Yeah.
But it's like, I agree. It's like, I get it. You're tough. Stop trying to tell me it's tough. Like, stop trying to sell me that you're tough. I just stuttered.
Yeah.
I couldn't do a promo. I just stuttered through that.
And I just had the thought, Charlotte and Becky are having their falling out from what we know from what's been reported. Then if Charlotte doesn't want to watch a Becky Lynch promo, watch a Roman Reigns promo, because that dude's got charisma bleeding out of his eyeballs.
Oh my god, yes. And you wouldn't think that from, like, early Roman Reigns.
No, if you watch Roman Reigns from, like, 2018 and earlier, it doesn't even seem like the same guy.
He was kind of boring then.
Yeah, he was very bland, white meat babyface that no one really cared about. And now... look where he's come. So Charlotte could use actually a little bit of both. The emotion from Becky and the charisma from Roman.
Yeah.
Man, that'd be a hell of a wrestling character.
Why not just go with Cody Rhodes?
Yeah. Cody Rhodes brings both of those things.
Yeah.
That's very true. Like when Cody Rhodes speaks.
Or Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn's really good at telling emotions.
Owens.
Yes, we're getting off topic though.
We are. But wrestling promos are important. I don't think we're off topic at all.
No, I agree, because that's what I care more. People, I feel like are going to come at me, but I care more about promos and like the gimmick work is what gets me over more than the actual wrestling. The wrestling kind of keeps me there, because if you're not a good wrestler, I'm going to have a hard time focusing on you. But like the character work is what gets me in to somebody.
Yeah, and I think you can say that for a lot of people. You can watch shows where it's just, good wrestling, but if there's no characters to identify with or characters to create drama because they act like a character and not a person, wrestling feels like it's missing something.
Yeah.
then. So it's important to have characters.
Yes.
And they need to be characters that you want to see.
Yes.
That you want to hear what they have to say. You want to see what they look like in a fight. You know, you got to make people care. And I just don't know that Charlotte has the emotion and the charisma to do that at this point. But, you know, Roman was in that same boat. Maybe one day Charlotte comes out and she's the most charismatic woman to ever step foot in a ring.
I feel like she might do better as a heel, too.
She feels more natural as a heel.
Yes.
Because she's a lot more, like, snobby. They got a video package kind of together building their fight. On the flip side, Asuka and Bianca got separate video packages about them.
I don't remember Asuka's.
It started when she, like, showed up in NXT. It talked about how dominant she was in NXT.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I mean, the video packages themselves were good, but I just feel like, you know, Roman and Cody got a video package and a promo.
Yes.
So I think, you know, you could have maybe done one with a video package. Maybe keep the Rhea and Charlotte video package because that was good, but give Bianca and Asuka something in ring. It doesn't even have to be a fight. Just get them in the ring.
You could have built this so much better because Bianca and Asuka are working together. Mm-hmm. You could have built such a good story with this, and there's not a story.
No.
At all.
And I think it's ending. I think it's leading into a Asuka heel turn, probably.
I thought she was already heel. Is she not?
No, she's just crazy.
Oh.
Yeah, because she hasn't really done anything like... Well, she did attack Bianca last week, I think.
I was going to say, doesn't she attack people all the time?
Yeah, but she's also crazy. So I don't know that
and
she's
it's always Chelsea
bad.
Green that gets attacked, and Chelsea Green's a heel.
Yeah, it's kind of like whenever The Miz always eats shit whenever Seth Rollins is around.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about the Becky and the Legends against Damage Control? How do you feel about that?
I don't really care either way, honestly, for this one.
I feel like...
I don't even feel like Becky and Lita should be the champs. Mm-hmm. They're weird champs together. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't feel... I feel like sometimes there's a struggle with... I just don't feel like you can just randomly put two people together and then they're tag team.
I think part of the issue is... You know how one of the big critiques of AEW is that Jericho's feuds take too long?
Yes.
And he feuds with people too long? I kind of get that vibe with Bayley in WWE. I feel like when she feuds with people, it's forever. Like, because her feud with Bianca was, what, 4 or 5 months?
It was a long time, yeah.
And Bayley didn't really get any kind of satisfaction out of it except the one time she pinned Bianca in a tag match.
Yeah.
That was the most satisfaction she got out of it. So I really feel... I hate to say it, I just don't think Damage Control clicks for me. I just don't really get much out of Damage Control. I enjoy Bayley.
I'm enjoying Damage Control more than I am Becky with the Legends.
Are you?
Yes.
Okay.
Trish Stratus, I think she's like awesome for like women's wrestling. Mm-hmm. But I don't find her entertaining right now. Like, she's only there because Lita's a champ, but why does Lita have to be a champ? And like Becky's never I don't know, like Becky's always done things on her own, but now she's with this group, which they did touch on, I get, but it's just, I find Damage Control much more entertaining than Becky with Trish and Lita.
Yeah.
If they were separate, I think I would like Trish and Lita maybe if they were together. I feel like that might be more entertaining for me than like Becky and Lita together.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's just, I don't really... I'm going to probably enjoy this match, but I just don't... It's not like I'm looking forward to it. Like,
yeah, I think it'll be a good match, but I think it'll be the third best women's match at Mania.
Isn't there only 3 women?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Yeah, like, it's still, like, I'm trying to say it's going to be fine, but look at what's coming with it.
Yeah.
So the other stories for WWE. So first we'll touch on Finn Balor and Edge and Hell in a Cell. Man, I wish they would have kept the Demon a secret.
I know. Because you could have just kept hinting at demons and all this stuff. Like, you didn't have to come right out and be like, the demon's coming. Why couldn't you just keep hinting? Like, just wait until you see what my demon could do to you or something. You don't have to come right out and be like, yes, it's happening.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
maybe they think that will be a draw, though, because everybody's been wanting to see the demon.
I mean, I think the image of the demon being in Hell in a Cell is going to be awesome. I am excited for just that visual. And I'm hoping that Triple H can rehab the demon character to where we don't see him often, but, like, he feels like a big deal again.
Yeah.
I mean, he feels like a big deal right now, but I mean, before this happened, do you know the last time the demon was on camera before this?
I know he lost to Bray Wyatt, but I don't know when that was.
Oh, he lost to Roman Reigns.
Oh, Roman Reigns?
He lost to Roman Reigns because the demon got up on the turnbuckle, and the turnbuckle and the ropes fell, and the demon face planted, and Roman beat him.
Oh.
And everybody talked about how it was so anticlimactic. Because it was a match that a lot of people were really hyped for, because it was Roman and the demon.
Yeah.
Like, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it ended with the ropes breaking, and remember when NXT did that with Grayson Waller?
I was just thinking
that was like the first time they
Grayson
tried
Waller.
it. That was the first time they tried it, was the demon and Roman, and a lot of people thought that it effectively killed the credibility of the demon. Because it made the demon look like an idiot.
Well, this will be a good, hopefully, like, good reincarnation for him.
Yeah.
Especially if they have in this match, there's rumors that they're going to try to get Christian to come be with Edge tonight.
And Gangrel.
Yes.
Yeah, which would be awesome.
Which I don't feel like Tony Khan would give a crap if that happened.
No,
he wouldn't care.
I feel like Tony Khan would mark out.
Yeah.
Like, because he's a giant fan.
Yes. Because I feel like it's more WWE that doesn't play well with others, not the other way around.
Yeah, because
That's like a well-known fact.
Yeah, Tony Khan has said he'd be willing to work with WWE.
Yeah.
He would love to.
So that would be cool, though, if that was able to happen. But
yeah.
I doubt it, but it would be cool.
It would.
But it's been reported that to expect a lot of surprises from WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's what Nick Khan said on ESPN. So yeah, I'm excited to see what those surprises are.
Yes.
Some of the other stories, Rollins and Logan Paul. This match, I would say this match could steal the show, but you could say that about 3 or 4 matches this year. But I think this match is going to be excellent. Rollins cut a promo on it this week, kind of promoting it on his own, which was super passionate. That seems to be the theme here, super passionate promos.
It gets people invested.
Yeah. Well, Seth Rollins also has his song that he had people sing. I mean, Seth Rollins' song is so big right now that Moxley did a curb stomp on AEW and the crowd sang Seth Rollins' song.
Yes. I forgot about that.
Which is crazy because usually the AEW audience doesn't cross over into WWE.
No. Seth Rollins is just that magical.
Yeah, I guess so.
I love Seth Rollins.
I feel like for you, Seth Rollins for you is like Cody Rhodes for me.
Probably. Oh, I just love Seth Rollins. His goofy ass laugh, his Joker tendencies,
his outlandish clothing.
That's very similar to Elton John.
Yeah.
Oh, I love him.
Remember when Miz got stomped with the big red space boots?
Oh, I love Seth Rollins.
I love the fact that every time Seth Rollins is around, the Miz eats shit. But that didn't happen this week because Miz was with the women.
Yes.
Other notable stories, I think we're coming to the end. I mentioned them earlier. I think we're coming to the end of Alpha Academy. Maxine Dupree definitely seems to have Otis's attention. Otis.
But didn't Maximum Male Models eliminate Otis?
Yeah, I think so. They from the beginning have shown they don't like him.
Oh, so that wasn't a...
No, that was just... Yeah, that's already kind of been set up.
Oh.
Which... I guess we should talk about the Battle Royal that happened on Friday, since it's usually on WrestleMania.
Yeah.
WWE, the next time you want to give us a swerve, maybe don't only give 2 guys entrances out of 30.
I think more got it. I said that weird.
You think so?
I think they're just doing the commercial.
Well, the only ones we got on TV were Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman.
Because, well, I'm only saying that because whenever we came back from commercial, LA Knight was in the ring.
Yeah.
So he must have gotten an entrance.
He should have got a TV entrance, though, being in LA.
And people were not happy when your boy LA Knight was eliminated.
Dude, LA Knight's getting a following, and I'm here for it.
There at LA Knight chants as he's walking back up the ramp to go backstage. Whenever he was eliminated by Bronson Reed, right?
Yeah.
There were boos, like...
Mm-hmm. I was sitting right over there, and I was sitting right over there, and LA Knight went out, and I was just like, no!
It was very dramatic.
And then I get on the subreddit, and the first comment I see is the same thing in all capital letters. No!
Yes.
LA Knight's going to be a big deal very soon. And I've seen a lot of people pitch the idea that he should win Money in the Bank. And I'm here for that.
When's Money in the Bank? Is that soon?
It's in the summer. I want to say it's June or July.
Oh, yeah. That'd be perfect time.
Yeah.
To get a little bit more momentum behind him. People would flip their I can't think of the saying.
If I can't get Gunther beating Cody for the title, I want LA Knight to cash in on Cody. Because I want to see the feud that follows.
Do you think LA Knight would win? I feel like it's very LA Knight-like to lose after he cashed in.
Yeah, but it's very babyface-like to get cashed in on and lose to a heel.
Oh, that's true.
Unless you're John Cena. That'd be a great Survivor Series feud for Cody. LA Knight would be.
You just want that because it's your two freaking favorites.
Yeah.
You would be in heaven.
And let's not skip over the fact that, I just casually mentioned we got a Cody Rhodes Solo Sikoa match. I love Solo Sikoa.
You do, yes. He makes you laugh. His WrestleMania, the Bloodline WrestleMania commercial kills Chris.
Yeah.
And whenever Solo talks at the end, you die, I feel like.
It is, because it's the Bloodline set up as Goodfellas, and AJ, our editor, should check out some of these clips since he's into movies. He'd probably find them funny. LA Knight's got big things coming, I think. And I think, because there was that report that came out that said that the higher-ups and backstage are very pleased with how LA Knight's getting over and the reactions that he's getting. So I'm expecting LA Knight to be pushed after WrestleMania, and I am 100% down for that.
I am too. I really enjoy LA Knight.
I know. He's one of the things I look most forward to on SmackDown. I've seen some people say that they tune in to SmackDown for the Bloodline and LA Knight. Okay. That's what brings them in.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, if you want to push LA Knight WWE, do it. I'm here for it.
Yes.
All right. So, I think that covers everything with main rosters. Anything else we needed to touch on with the main roster?
Nothing that really, stood out.
No. The main roster WrestleMania card looks excellent.
It was just a lot of, building for WrestleMania, which WrestleMania is going to be awesome, I think.
I think it will be. I think we're going to see a couple 4-star matches. Maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I think Roman versus Cody Rhodes has match of the year written all over it.
The potential, yeah.
Yeah. Because that's just going to be storytelling city.
Yeah.
If you love Amdram in your matches, Cody and Roman's going to bring it in spades. So let's kind of pivot over to NXT. NXT started this week with the Battle Royal to determine the final spot for Wesley's Fatal 5-Way match. Which, that match is going to be great. Yeah. I think that match is going to be the match of NXT.
Oh, I think so.
Stand and Deliver.
Oh man, I stuttered getting through that.
It was kind of like with Bobby Lashley winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which I don't think we explicitly said, but now we've covered.
We didn't. No.
No, we just focused on LA Knight.
Oh man.
But like that, I feel like Axiom winning has been telegraphed for a couple weeks because Axiom kept trying to get his shot and kept getting shot down with it.
Yeah.
But it did lead to an excellent final 2 between Axiom and Nathan Frazier. We're building to Stand and Deliver. So now we have our Fatal 5-Way set. We have Wesley, JD McDonough, Ilya Dragunov, Axiom, Dragon Lee, and Wesley. It's going to be insane.
Yes.
And I think, honestly, it should open the show. Just like the Battle Royal did for NXT.
Oh,
I would kick the show off with the Fatal 5-Way because that match is going to bring people in and they're going to be invested. Dempsey was the third. Okay.
Yes.
I'm all here for Dempsey.
Yes.
Dempsey push.
Charlie Dempsey. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. He's involved in kind of a fun little story itself too with Drew Gulak and Hank Walker.
Yeah.
Where Hank Walker's trying to beat the teacher that turned on him. It's a tiny story in the spectrum of NXT, but it's fun and it has development every week.
It does, yeah.
So we will go ahead and shift to the women's title picture. So Roxanne Perez is back.
Yeah.
And she's going to be in the ladder match defending her title. I wonder how well this has played backstage, because Roxanne had to vacate the title because they thought that she was going to be out longer. She ended up being fine, which is great. That's the result that you want.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's a woman back there that was promised a win in that match and a title, I would imagine.
I just feel like NXT jumped the gun on
vacating the title. I agree.
Unless maybe they thought it was a lot more serious.
That's kind of the vibe that I got.
But like, yeah. I just feel like maybe they jumped the gun, though.
Yeah. And it's funny because Roxanne had the segment with Shawn Michaels where she was trying to convince Shawn Michaels to let her in the match. And I don't know why, but the way it was shot, the way the promo was shot, gave me a very, like, after-school special vibe. like a Say No to Drugs PSA. Like, they'd have us watching health class.
That's how a lot of like, Shawn Michaels did that weird one with Wesley where he just kept, like, touching Wesley.
Yeah.
Because I was even like, why is he touching him so much? Like, what? So he always does the weird segments with the wrestlers. But they're very experimental in NXT, though.
Yeah, it is.
So,
like NXT's kind of, I wouldn't say avant-garde, but some of the stuff they do is kind of like art house. Like,
yeah,
compared to wrestling.
They just do different things to see what sticks, what's clearly not going to stick. Like,
yeah,
that's what NXT's there for.
And that's a lot of the fun of tuning into NXT is just seeing what they're going to do.
Sometimes you see things and you're like, that's not good. But other times you're like, wow, this is pretty cool.
And usually it seem to agree, because if they do something we're like, wow, that didn't really come off that great, we usually don't see it again.
Yes.
So yeah, NXT is just this little experimental playground essentially for wrestling, and it's fun. And I think Tony Khan should do the same thing with Ring of Honor. Make it his experimental little baby.
I mean, Ring of Honor already has some.
There's been a lot of praise.
A lot of different personalities, I mean.
Yeah.
So he could definitely do something like that.
Yeah, and I know Ring of Honor so far has been a massive success as far as quality, from what I understand.
Yeah.
So yeah, Roxanne's in the match. I kind of think that makes this match a foregone conclusion. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to take the title off Roxanne yet.
No.
But we'll see. After that, we'll go into Braun and Mello. Braun and Mello was also built with a video package this week. I don't remember anything being in ring with them.
No.
And I think that match will be fine. I think Braun is going to drop that title, and I think we're going to see Braun on the main roster Monday night on Raw.
Yeah, I think that I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I think he's done everything he could do in NXT. Well, I know they've been teasing a heel run, but I just think, he's been there for 2 years.
And it doesn't seem like he fits in NXT.
No, because he came out in the NXT 2.0 era, and he feels like a product of that time.
Yeah. Because, everybody else is kind of, goofy, a little weirdness to their character, and he's just very much, not.
Well, you know how in a comedy routine, there's, the jokester and there's the straight man. Mm-hmm. He's the straight man of NXT. I didn't want to use straight man as a way, I didn't want that to come off like I was saying something about his sexuality, because you have to be careful of that stuff these days. But that's kind of what he is. He's kind of the stern, legitimate fighter. I get, yeah.
Instead of straight man, no bullshit.
Yeah, where no more BS, Paul White. But no, and he's kind of played that role the whole time he's been there. He doesn't really do anything too outlandish, anything like that. He's.
Well, I guess I said he doesn't feel like he's belongs there, but look at the Creed brothers; they're very similar.
Yeah. Actually, there was a.
So I take that back. I don't think it's that he doesn't feel like he belongs. I don't know. He just.
It's funny that you say that about the Creed brothers, because Pretty Deadly said during their video recaps, which Pretty Deadly did a recap for every match coming to Stand and Deliver. They did a great job with that. Yeah, they did a great job with that. But they even said, they were like, "Ooh, the Creed brothers found a personality," or something like that. So it's funny that you and Pretty Deadly were on the same page.
I guess I'm just gonna be friends with Pretty Deadly.
Oh, man. Good luck. Speaking of drama,
Are we speaking of drama?
Yeah, because Braun doesn't really bring any drama.
Oh, okay.
Because he's no bullshit.
Okay.
So yeah, I could have segued that better, but here we are. This Brooks Jensen, Kiana James story.
My God, this
is just
drama.
like soap opera city. Like,
I feel like it's a little too much.
You think so?
Like, if I wanted to watch a soap opera, I would watch a soap opera. I wouldn't be watching wrestling.
Yeah.
It's too much. I feel like it's one of my teen TV dramas I liked. Like, we're watching One Tree Hill in wrestling.
Oh, man. I mean, I can see it, though, because, like, Kiana James has a secret. Fallon Henley wanted to reveal it in the middle of a match.
You idiot.
I don't know
really
why.
care about your friends. Because they were in their match was something important.
They were trying to get into the triple threat at Stand and Deliver, and they didn't.
Yes, to get into a pay-per-view. Like, they were literally trying to get into a pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. And Fallon Henley was like, I'm going to go tell Brooks the secret right now. And it's like, you idiot. They're wrestling right now. Why would you go do that?
Yeah, this could wait.
You are clear. I don't even know why are they the women's tag team champs?
I think to get the titles on.
Because but there's nobody else that, like, they're just, I don't know. I guess the whole point is that they don't go together. I guess it's what they're only together for Brooks.
Yeah.
So but I don't know. This is just a weird thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm torn. I enjoy the drama, but it's weird that it's on NXT.
Yeah. I can see it. I
mean, I love the Real Housewives.
Yeah.
I love drama on my shows.
Yeah. So next we'll talk about Chase U and Schism. Why are you laughing?
I don't know. Schism, like...
I know for you, it's Ava that doesn't click.
It's Ava for me.
Ava doesn't click for you.
And she completely ruined Schism for me.
Oh, wow.
I know that sounds harsh, but it's not like I don't like Schism. I don't know. It's just, I can't with Ava.
Okay. It's funny that I bring up Schism and Chase U, and, like, Thea Hale's not what comes to your mind.
It's Ava.
But I am interested because they're having that 8-man tag match at Stand and Deliver. I am interested to see where this story goes.
I am too. I mean,
I'm interested to see because I feel like we're coming to the downfall of Chase U, and I'm interested to see what the first domino is.
Who the heck does it? I feel like the obvious thing is Duke Hudson. He's the obvious choice.
Yeah.
But there's so many different things. There's Thea Hale, who you know has, like, this history with Schism.
Yeah.
But yet Tyler Bate's been working with her. But Tyler Bate, is he actually
He's
a
an
good
outsider?
guy? So, like, is he going to do something? Because isn't he in the match with them?
Yeah.
So is Tyler Bate going to do something?
And then we're going to say all this, and it's going to end up being Andre Chase for some reason. He's going to be like, I couldn't take the pressure anymore or something.
Oh, man, I hope he cusses, though, before he does it. Can they cuss on this pay-per-view?
It's still PG.
Oh. Yeah, but he cusses backstage.
Yeah, but they bleep it.
But that's true.
Are you wanting the bleeping or are you wanting to hear it?
I guess I want the bleeping.
Then they could do that.
I love when he gets really upset and cusses because it's always the F word. Mm-hmm. I love it.
So I'm interested to see where that story goes for sure.
Yes.
And the last thing I think we need to touch on is Grayson Waller and Johnny Gargano.
Just running his mouth.
Grayson Waller, I feel like Grayson Waller's main roster ready.
I do too, but like...
Grayson Waller is somebody else, and I know this list is growing, but Grayson Waller is somebody else I would add to the list that I would love to see feud with Cody.
God, you want everybody to feud with Cody.
Well, Cody is just such a good babyface character that there's a lot of... If you bring in a halfway interesting heel, it's going to be
Waller
interesting.
Is basically like WWE's version of MJF. He's like the PG
you think
version.
So?
He's the PG
You think
version.
so more than The Miz?
Oh, I forgot about The Miz.
Mm-hmm.
I think honestly, it's probably more Grayson Waller because MJF's thing is how great he is, and that's a Grayson Waller's thing. Is
That's
that
true.
Nobody respects him. So I feel like Grayson Waller and Miz is just talking about how he's like a superstar. That's why he's like a famous person. That's his thing, isn't it? More.
Yeah, his A-lister.
So Grayson Waller, I feel like would be more like MJF because he talks about how he basically talks about how NXT is on the map because of him.
Yeah. I think Johnny Gargano is a good feud choice for him, especially since Johnny Gargano is so synonymous with NXT.
Oh my god, yes. And it just... Johnny Gargano back on NXT, he just has that fire back, which is like the Johnny Gargano I love in wrestling, is that fire Johnny Gargano.
Yeah.
Even though I'm pretty sure the Johnny Gargano we're seeing on the main roster is actually more him.
Yeah, I got that vibe too.
So I guess I shouldn't say that I like that one better, because I'm literally saying I don't like him as much, which sounds terrible.
Well, I think him and Grayson Waller will be fun. I think WWE is in for a very fun weekend. I think WrestleMania is going to deliver, and I think Stand and Deliver is going to be great.
I do too, yes.
I'm expecting some great WWE wrestling this weekend.
I think I was going to say, I think any wrestling this weekend is going to be amazing.
Yeah. And
starting with Ring of Honor, which I knew was amazing.
Yeah. And NXT is known for stepping it up at the big time.
Yes.
They're known for that. So I know it's not the NXT of old, but I do like this incarnation of NXT.
Yeah.
I like its experimentalness. I like that it's not afraid to try things.
Yeah.
I like that it's not afraid to have big characters with silly gimmicks.
Yes.
NXT is a lot for me. NXT is kind of a breath of fresh air. WWE is going to have a great weekend, and I can't wait to dive in here. And at the time we're recording this, Stand and Deliver starts in an hour and 45 minutes. So I'm excited. So I think we set up WWE well. I think we need to pivot to AEW.
Yes.
All right. So AEW this week, we kicked off with Matt Hardy versus Jungle Boy, which means we got to start AEW with Ethan Page, which you and I are always down for.
Which, let me just tell you, Matt Hardy was looking more spry than he has been.
Yeah, Jungle Boy was a good match for him.
Yes.
They helped each other look good, I feel like.
Yes.
Of course, it ended with Ethan Page accidentally punching Matt Hardy. And it's
well, at one point in time, Ethan Page literally chucks Jungle Boy over the
barricade.
Yes. And then he walks away. I don't even think I think he hit it for Matt Hardy.
Kinda. I don't know if he hit it or if Matt Hardy just happened to not be paying attention, but they're kind of deceiving each other if that's the case.
That's how I thought that he hit it for Matt Hardy, because Matt Hardy was busy with the ref. And then they kind of are, because on Rampage, Ethan Page actually, let's talk about what happened on Dynamite first.
Okay.
So Jungle Boy was getting attacked after the match.
Yeah.
And by Ethan Page. And Hook comes out to help him.
Yeah.
And then MJF comes out. I forgot about MJF coming out.
Yeah. Yeah, he came out for a while.
Oh my god, how do I forget this?
I don't know how you forgot it, because it was a good promo. MJF came out and he talked about...
I was going to say, I'll probably remember it once you
He kind of reiterated about how Jungle Boy and him went on different paths. They thought they could have been friends. Jungle Boy called him a piece of shit.
Oh, yes, and there's the chant, the piece of shit chant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. But honestly, Jungle Boy came out on top, though, during that.
Yeah, this is the second time in 2 weeks that
MJF did not come out on top with his promos.
Yeah.
Which is kind of fun, because MJF is known as being
getting
this
the upper
promo
hand
guy. And Jungle Boy, he literally did have too much anxiety to do promos. He could not do any promos because he would just get too anxious.
And he would get what chanted, which I'm sure didn't help.
So, I mean, I feel like it's a big deal for Jungle Boy that he came out on top with MJF.
Yeah, and it definitely builds the story.
Yes.
Because I do think we're building to a fatal four-way with the 4 pillars of AEW, and I think it's going to be great. That's another match of the year potential right there.
Yes.
Wrestling's just so good right now that there's a potential for match of the year everywhere.
Yes. Well, I do want to say, though, back to Ethan Page, though, because how he attacked Jungle Boy, Hook came out, that's how he has a match against Hook on next Wednesday, right?
Yeah, I believe it's Dynamite, yes.
So then, but talking about how Matt Hardy, we kind of got off topic about Matt Hardy, but he did something because he came up with his contract for the match, and Ethan Page uses Matt Hardy's back to sign the contract, and Matt Hardy winks at the camera. So he put something in that contract for this match.
Yeah, because Ethan Page didn't read it.
No, he was like, because he was just like, I can trust you. You're my boy.
Yeah.
I trust you. And didn't look at any of the stipulations or anything. So, oh, that's going to be fun.
Yeah, it has been kind of fun. Like, it's funny. Matt Hardy is doing to the Firm what the Bloodline thought Sami Zayn was going to do to them. Like, and it's funny to compare those two things, but I mean...
It's very true. It's just on two different scales.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yes.
This is on more of a comedic scale because you got like Matt Hardy and Ethan Page involved and Isaiah Cassidy and...
Yeah.
And, you know, on the Bloodline side you had Sammy, but the people being affected weren't, like, known for being funny.
No, it was like newsworthy whenever they would break.
Yeah.
Because Sami Zayn was just so funny.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I like how the feuds have kind of intertwined. Like Hook helping out Jungle Boy pushes his feud with the Firm a little bit more, although I'm about done with Hook feuding with the Firm. But I'm afraid if those two stop feuding, they'll go away. They'll both go away.
Oh.
Ethan Page will get back off my TV, and I don't want that.
Yes, but they're building... I don't think that'll happen because they're building a story with Matt Hardy and Ethan Page.
And I heard a lot of it's been built on like Dark and Dark Elevation. We just haven't had time to keep up with Dark and Dark Elevation.
We haven't.
And I know that's a lot of people have said that's where the story's building, and I've heard a lot. I've seen in a lot of places where people say that story is one of the reasons to watch Dark and Dark Elevation because they're doing such a good job.
I mean, I'm not surprised because whenever we do get to watch it, we always saw something on there about it.
Yeah, there was usually something we could take away from it there.
Yeah.
So that's getting interesting. The other pillars this week, Darby wasn't in ring this week.
He just watched.
Which makes sense because he was the only one that was in ring last week.
Oh, yeah.
So this week we had Jungle Boy wrestling on Dynamite against Matt Hardy, and on Rampage we had Sammy Guevara versus Konosuke Takeshita. That match was really good too.
Match, yes.
But for me, it kind of ended a little too abruptly. I felt like another 5 minutes, and that match would have been really, really good.
Yeah, the ending.
Because Tay Mello grabbed Takeshita's foot. Sammy hit the GTH after the knee strike, and then the match was just over. Yeah. And it felt like, didn't it feel like the match was just getting going?
Well, they did say though that Takeshita didn't have Don Callis in his corner though this time to kind of help out with stuff. So they did note that whenever the match started. Yeah, and we'll be talking about here in just a second why Don Callis wasn't available because it got a little nuts. So the next thing that I want to touch on is the Blackpool Combat Club and Elite storyline. So there's a lot of moving parts here. Yeah. Dark Order wasn't on TV this week, were they? No, which is a shame. I think the Dark Order should definitely still be an element here. But we had Kenny Omega versus Jeff Cobb just hanging out on Dynamite for a mid-card New Japan title, and the match slapped hard as everybody knew it would. Yes. So we get to the end, and meanwhile, I was going to say we got to back up a little bit. You skipped a big part here. Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts, like I said. So before that match even happened, we got to rewind back where Hangman didn't know. We got to go back even further. So it was announced and built all week that Blackpool Combat Club was going to fight Dalton Castle and the boys. Which I've been saying all week, Dalton Castle's going to get murdered. I thought it would at least be a competitive match, and it wasn't. Dalton Castle and the boys got squashed. Yeah. By the Blackpool Combat Club. They squashed them, and then they just left. And then that seemed like that was the end of Blackpool Combat Club for the night. They just squashed Dalton Castle and the boys, and off they went. Mm-hmm. Well, it was very far from the end of the night for the Blackpool Combat Club. Yes. So we go backstage. Hangman's doing an interview with Alex Marvez, and Don Callis is back there. And it appears that Don Callis and Hangman Page are making amends. Oh, yeah, because Don Callis was just like, hey, Hangman, just so you know, it was I know that you didn't touch me.
Yeah.
Yep, it was my mistake. Like,
well, we need to go back even further because before that interview, we saw a conversation with Don Callis and Kenny Omega where Don Callis said, I lost my balance, I fell. And he said something that was really interesting. He said, but I think it's interesting that you didn't question that Hangman did that.
So Don Callis is very much like stirring the pot.
Don Callis is being
Don Callis
is being the carny piece of shit that everybody calls him. And I gotta say, Don Callis is fantastic at his job. I didn't know who Don Callis was before AEW. No. I'm really glad I know who Don Callis is now.
Yeah.
So let's fast forward back. Hangman is doing the interview with Alex Marvez while Don Callis and him are making amends. Blackpool Combat Club comes in and just takes out Hangman Page. And this all happens while Don Callis has his hand extended to shake Hangman's hand. Well, even while Hangman's getting beat up, Don Callis never takes his hand away, which is an interesting little note. So Moxley gets done beating up Hangman Page, and he turns to Don Callis. And, of course, if you remember, Don Callis is the reason that Moxley lost the title to Kenny in the first place. So Don Callis tries to make a play to make amends with Moxley, and Moxley's just like, oh, yeah, hey, cool. And then forearms him right in the face. Don Callis goes down, and somewhere along the way, Don Callis cut his forehead.
Like, legit cuts his forehead.
Which is hilarious because it was accidental, but still, they found a way to be blood in a Moxley segment.
I know.
So hopefully Don Callis is okay.
He was really bleeding.
He was bleeding really good.
Yeah.
But I think they're definitely going to be able to use that to add to the drama of the story.
Oh my god, because they went and told Kenny Omega before he went out.
Yeah, Tony Schiavone went and told him.
And
he was like, Hangman got attacked and Don Callis got attacked by Blackpool Combat Club. And the way Kenny reacted, he was just like,
Don?
They got Don? Like, it was that was the final straw for Kenny. Like, that was like the damn those assholes moment for him. Like, they got Don? Like... But anyway, Tony Schiavone, timing was a thing this week because Tony Schiavone took the Fallon Henley approach. And Tony Schiavone literally went to Kenny while he's behind the curtain, like stretching and bouncing and warming up.
Like his music
and tells him, yeah. And Kenny's just like, I gotta ignore that. I gotta go fight Jeff Cobb. So I love the fact that Kenny has had 2 matches in a row on Dynamite that are with major implications that are supposed to be freaking balls to the wall, excellent matches, and Kenny goes in distracted for both of them. I think it's
still balls to the wall, excellent matches.
They are with a distracted Kenny. This story is probably AEW's best told story right now.
Yeah.
The 4 pillar stuff is great. I think this exceeds it.
I just like that there's stories.
Yeah, because that was everybody's beef with AEW is they don't know how to tell stories. Well, they're telling a couple pretty good ones right now.
Yes.
So after the match, we're not even done. So Kenny ends up beating Jeff Cobb. Mm-hmm. Barely. He hits him with the one-winged angel, which looks super impressive because Jeff Cobb's such a big guy.
Yes.
So at the end of the match, Blackpool Combat Club comes out again, and they surround the ring, getting ready to beat up Kenny. They start beating up on Kenny. Mm-hmm. And then Bryan Danielson's music hits.
Yes.
And I looked at you and I was like, I told you Danielson's coming back to fight off the heel Blackpool Combat Club. Danielson gets in the ring. Blackpool Combat Club clears out. Wheeler Yuta, this was so well done. Wheeler Yuta hops up on the apron and Kenny runs over and swipes at him. Well, as Kenny has his back to Danielson, focusing on Wheeler Yuta, Danielson crouches down and the crowd swells because they know what's coming.
Yes.
Like the energy in the building just started building.
Because everybody's like, oh no.
And then in my head I was like, no, they did the opposite of what I had been saying for months. What happens? Kenny Omega turns around, psycho knee right to the face. Danielson joins the Blackpool Combat Club and has now reformed that stable.
Listen, the last time he was a heel
Mm-hmm.
was whenever he was the planet's champion and he was Daniel Bryan.
The last time we saw him as a heel.
Yes.
For when we were actively watching.
Yes. So, and I loved the planet's champion.
Mm-hmm.
Loved this.
Yeah.
We were in Pittsburgh whenever he was the planet's champion and he was there.
Mm-hmm.
And he went up to this little kid
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, like, parents, like, moms around were so, like, he called this little kid stupid. Remember
Yes,
that?
I remember that.
I mean,
It
like...
was something, like, didn't the kid have, like, an AJ Styles sign or something? And he was like, it's because you're stupid.
He, like, read the sign, and he was like, it was something like, you have that sign because you're stupid. And, like, parents around him are like... And I was like, oh my god, I love heel Daniel Bryan. So now I'm very excited to see heel Bryan Danielson.
I'm excited to see a heel combat club, or Blackpool Combat Club, just wrecking shop for weeks.
Yes.
No one is safe. No one is safe.
No. It's gonna be so much blood.
It's gonna be so much blood. It's gonna be so much fun. So yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes. I think it's going to lead to a blood and guts match with the Elite and Blackpool Combat Club. The numbers are even.
That would be so fun.
It would. Or like an Anarchy in the Arena. Because the numbers are perfect. You've got Danielson, Moxley, Claudio, Yuta on one side. On the other, you have Hangman and Kenny, assuming they can get on the same page, and the Bucks. And then you've got Dark Order still kind of lurking. I really think we need to keep Dark Order here. Dark Order could still bring stuff to the story.
But I could see them kind
especially
of
since you
forgotten.
just brought back Stu Grayson.
Yeah.
Give him something to do, because Stu Grayson is fan-freaking-tastic.
He is, yes.
So we're going to pivot away from that, and we'll talk about the Guns. So the Guns and FTR are going to fight on Wednesday. If FTR loses, they're leaving AEW. I think they're probably going to lose.
I know. I did not know the outcome of this.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they went back to WWE.
Yeah, I mean, Triple H was always really big on them. You could tell how they were booked in NXT. I like the Guns. A lot of people don't really care for the Guns. I think the Guns do exactly what they're supposed to do and what they're designed to do.
Yes.
I really enjoy the Guns. I think the Guns also are the future. I feel like that the Guns and the Acclaimed are one of those teams that you could just revisit over the years, and there's always something there.
Yeah.
I think they're kind of the Batman and Joker to each other, where I could just see them just over, like kind of like Triple H and Austin or Rock and Austin, like they just find their way back to each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's important for the future. International title, Orange Cassidy wins again. This time he beats the Butcher.
I did not think he was going to win this time.
No, I figured he'd beat the Butcher. I thought he was going to lose to Jeff Jarrett.
I mean, I thought that too.
Yeah.
I guess I don't have faith in Orange Cassidy week after week.
Well, they keep telling the story that he's running himself down and running himself down. And then as we saw on Rampage, it's weird. I thought this was kind of weird. So, Brody King had a match with Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara over the last 2 weeks on Rampage. Was it? Yeah, it was Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia. No, Daniel Garcia and Jake Hager was his last 2 matches that he had on Rampage. So I thought we were going to get a House of Black Jericho Appreciation Society feud. Well, what happened was Daniel Garcia is going after Adam Cole. And Brody King and Malachi Black wrestled the Best Friends on Rampage, where Orange Cassidy had come out there and Buddy Matthews got into it. So it's weird because it seemed like it was going to be House of Black and Jericho Appreciation Society, but now we've pivoted to the House of Black and the Best Friends with Orange Cassidy, and it seems like the Jericho Appreciation Society is pivoting to Adam Cole. So it feels kind of weird there. Like, when I lay it all out like that, like, it's like...
Yeah, but you also have the Jericho Appreciation Society, you have a couple members trying to recruit the Acclaim. So it's
That's
kind
true,
of like,
so they're kind of in that story as well.
So it's kind of like, they're kind of doing their own things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But, I wonder if the feud going forward is going to be more focused on Best Friends and Orange Cassidy against House of Black. Because I know a lot of people for a while have been really wanting them to push the Best Friends.
Maybe.
Does this end in Malachi Black being the one to take out Orange Cassidy and take his title? But I feel like we already did the international title and trios title being held by the same person because Pac did that.
I don't know.
So I'm not really sure where we're going here, I don't get me wrong, I like all of these teams, and however they interact, there's going to be some element of enjoyment just because I like them as characters. But it just seems like they're not really sure what they want to do with the trios title picture right now.
Yeah. It's kind of been that way, I feel like, ever since their original plans were slashed.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And I feel like they have more an idea now, but it's like I don't think they know who they want House of Black to face next.
Yeah.
And it's like, it doesn't have to be, like, you can literally build feuds of people and, like, you can do one at a time. You don't have to kind of, like, mix a million people in at once. Because it makes it confusing.
It does.
Because, honestly, some of the feuds that you were talking about, like Jericho Appreciation Society, I forgot about that already. Mm-hmm. So that's not good if you get confusing.
Yeah. Yeah, they need to find a direction and go that direction.
Yes.
And I'm not sure... I'm not sure where we're going. Mm-mm. Well, I do know it definitely seems like Jericho is Adam Cole's first feud out of the gate, because they had their match in the main event, and we'll go ahead and talk about this because it's connected to what we've already been talking about. Adam Cole beat Daniel Garcia. Adam Cole looked a little rusty out of the gate, but by the end it was fine.
How he was going, what, 9 months?
He was gone a long time.
So he was going almost a year, right?
Yeah, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Yeah. I think that's just he's human.
Yeah.
But by the end of it, I think he really had it brought back together. Yeah, he found his groove.
Yes.
And they had like the streamers, and everything else. Like it was like Adam.
Britt Baker came out.
It was like Adam Cole won the Powerball. And he got all that for beating Daniel Garcia.
But I mean, he's a big deal in AEW.
Right? He is, and you can tell he's somebody that Tony Khan is extremely high on.
Yeah.
And Adam Cole's been a success everywhere he's gone.
Especially whenever his career almost ended. His life almost ended, I feel like.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal that he's back.
Yeah. No, and I'm glad he's back because I really enjoy Adam Cole.
Yeah.
But after the match, all the streamers were down. Jericho came out to get his boy.
It was weird. He didn't talk at all.
He didn't talk. He didn't look at Adam Cole.
No.
Like he'd keep like looking back, but like he wouldn't turn around and look directly at Cole. So I wonder if we're maybe doing a pivot in Jericho's character, which honestly it might be time to pivot a little bit with him.
Yeah.
Jericho is usually on it when it comes to knowing when something feels like it's kind of running its course. And I kind of feel like the JAS is getting there because they've been around a year. So I think it would be cool to kind of see Jericho pivot. And in AEW, he's always had a group around him. I'd love to see Jericho maybe just take like one guy and focus on that one guy. Or fly solo for a little bit.
I feel like that one guy should be Sammy Guevara. Mm-hmm. Because maybe, I don't know.
Or you could have Sammy and Daniel Garcia try to vie for that spot.
But I think the whole reason why Jericho has a group of people around him, though, is because that's the talent that he's chosen to try to elevate.
Yeah.
So I feel like that would make sense for him to continue to have a group of people around him. Mm-hmm. But it's always the same people. But if he switches those people out, I don't know if they'd be able to stand on their own, especially Jake Hager. Well,
with the difference between the Inner Circle and the JAS is he took out Santana Ortiz and brought in Matt Menard and Angelo Parker.
And I feel like those two, I think they could go on their own.
I think they could. I think they could do really well in Ring of Honor.
I think that everybody, the only person that I don't think Jake Hager can do it. Mm-hmm. And it's not that he's not talented. It's just, you can't just say, I like this hat for years and years and years. Like, that's the most personality, like, I've ever seen him give. Mm-hmm. So, he needs somebody that has that charisma, because he doesn't have that. Mm-hmm. In person, I feel like he has that.
Yeah,
But with wrestling, he just does not give that charisma.
Mm-hmm. No, I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree with you.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa!
Some of the other stuff that happened on AEW this week, Jade Cargill and Taya Valkyrie are definitely heading for a TBS title match.
My god, yeah. Jade, we saw Jade lose her cool too.
Yeah.
If I could get through sentences today.
Yeah.
Yes, because Taya, she would not stop using the move. Because it's that whole thing where she has her lawyer, Mark Sterling. Jade has her lawyer, Mark Sterling, helping her out, trying to get Taya Valkyrie to stop using the move because it's the same move that Jade has. And Taya Valkyrie's like, I don't give a crap. I'm going to keep doing this.
Yeah.
So, but Taya Valkyrie got under Jade's skin on, was it Rampage?
Yeah.
She trucked down there to the ring and she, like, people had to hold her back because she was, so Jade's losing her cool. She's not the, you know, like, in your face, like, I'm the top person right now. Like, she's losing her cool, which is nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. and I'm going to enjoy it too because Mark Sterling's on TV more. I am perfectly fine with Mark Sterling being on TV.
I do like Mark Sterling.
Yeah. Action Andretti and Juice Robinson had a match to kind of prepare for the Ricky Starks feud. And I'll be real honest, I run out of energy at the end of the week. I was not able to stay awake. It wasn't that I was bored. I run out of gas on Fridays at about 10:45.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good match.
Who won? Juice?
Yes. And Juice kept calling. He's very fixated on Ricky Starks because he has that feud with Ricky Starks. So he like refused to acknowledge Action Andretti by his name. Did you know that?
No.
He just kept screaming Ricky. He at one point he was like, "You're Ricky Starks to me." So like he refused to call him his name. So like it was kind of funny, a little weird. It was funny though. But yeah, Juice Robinson did end up winning, and at the end of it, he was doing that. What is that move, like the dab? Whatever the heck Ricky Starks does. After he beat Action Andretti, though, he did that move, and Ricky Starks came out, and yeah, like literally, Ricky Starks just chased him around the ring. Like Juice Robinson panicked. As soon as the music hit, he like ran out of the ring as Ricky Starks came running down to the ring, and he just chased Juice Robinson backstage. Okay. That's how it ended.
Okay. I gotcha.
But it was just so funny because he just kept yelling Ricky to Action Andretti. So.
Well, those two will fight on Wednesday. I think that'll be a good match.
Yes.
So I think the last thing that we need to talk about with AEW that we haven't hit on is the main women's storyline. So how do you feel about this story with the AEW women, the Outcasts versus the Originals, or the Homegrown?
I like it, but something's off with it. I just don't know what. But I like it.
Yeah, we had Ruby and Willow fighting on Dynamite, and the crowd was super behind Willow, which is really great to see.
Yes.
Willow, like we know from firsthand, Willow just exudes positiveness. Like
she really does. Yes.
Like she's just so nice. And I can see why her thing is smile all the time, because every time we saw her on the cruise, she was smiling.
I know.
But anyway, we're getting off topic here.
I know. Let's focus.
So they had their match. Ruby won the match. And then Riho came out again. Riho came out sans pipe this time. She had no pipe. Jamie Hayter comes out because Riho got owned when she got out there. So Jamie Hayter comes out, and Jamie Hayter went to throw a clothesline, and Toni Storm ducked it. And it's a good thing that she did, because she would have taken Toni Storm's head clean off her shoulders. Yes. Like, Jamie Hayter threw that clothesline so hard, she threw herself into the ropes.
Yes.
I really enjoy Jamie Hayter.
I do too.
I think Jamie Hayter's a fantastic champion. I think we need to get her a feud going for her title. Well, she is wrestling Riho for it on Wednesday. But I definitely think, I like the story that's going on, but I feel like the women's title's kind of taking a back seat because of it.
At least the champ is around, though, because when Thunder Rosa was champ, she was never around.
That's true. And that may not have been to her fault. We don't know. We're not going to speculate on that.
No, I didn't mean that. I just meant at least we're seeing it now.
Yeah, the title is featured.
Yes.
But yeah, I think I agree with you. Like, I think the story, something is off with it.
It's like they don't seem as badass as they're trying to seem. Like, I look at them and I think, yeah, they're badass, but like, the spray paint thing, maybe that's it for me. Like,
Yeah,
and it's never, and like the spray paint never even works where they want it to, I feel like.
Yeah, and I think the green doesn't really show up very well a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's the spray paint.
Yeah, I don't know what else they could do. But like the spray paint, it makes sense. Mm-hmm. Because that's just, whenever you're the bad kid, you like graffiti things. You like, so it makes sense, but like, I don't know what else they could do though.
Yeah. I don't know, but this match did give us the rare Excalibur stumble. Because at one point, go back and listen to the broadcast. I think Excalibur wanted to say that Willow and Ruby used to be friends and used to be partners, and his words got melded somehow. And go back and listen. He ends up calling them fartners, which.
And of course, we picked up on that.
And then, of course, I get online, and right away, the top 10 or 15 comments, fartners, LOL, fartners, what? Like, so it wasn't unheard. But no, it's weird when Excalibur stumbles to that degree. So you got to listen to it just for the novelty of it, because normally Excalibur is flawless. Except if he's on Dark tearing it up with Taz. But they just seem like they're just having fun when they do that.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that covers everything with AEW this week. AEW is also feeling pretty good. There's some good stories going. There's some confusion in some of the booking. But I think the main stories that they want to tell are being told well. The Four Pillars story is coming off really well. The Blackpool Combat Club Elite stuff is doing a really good job as well. Especially balancing all those moving parts and interweaving it throughout the show. So I'm interested to see where that goes. And now that Danielson's back, that adds another layer.
Yes.
So I'm really excited about that. The Ethan Page, Matt Hardy stuff is great. I'd like to see more of them on Dynamite. Because I think if you do this feud correctly, you could build them to at least a 0-hour show at Double or Nothing. I'd love it to be main card, but I don't know if it's going to make the main card. I think the only other thing that we have to mention about AEW is I miss Danhausen.
I know.
He didn't do much, but I miss him. I'm hoping that they can find a way to get him on TV. But at the same time, if he does stay off of TV and he doesn't come back until he's ready to compete physically, imagine the pop when he shows back up.
Yeah.
And it should be in front of a crowd, and it should be on Dynamite. Because he's that big. He's their biggest merch mover.
I was going to say, yeah.
One of them. I think the Acclaimed currently is the biggest merch mover.
But last year, he was the top merch seller of the whole year.
Yeah.
So, yes, absolutely.
Yes. So I think that's going to do it for our wrestling coverage this week. Don't forget, we figured out the YouTube situation. So we will be live streaming WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2 with a watch-along on YouTube, not the Twitch. So if you're on the YouTube channel, you know how to get here. If you're on the audio side, if you're doing the podcast side, it's just Figures and Flippy S. Search for us on YouTube and you'll find it. But we will go live about 15...
Well, for the people on YouTube, it won't even be up. The video won't be up yet for them to...
Oh, that's true. That's true. So yeah, hopefully you found us. If you didn't, we're going to do WrestleMania Night 2 if you're seeing this video tomorrow. That being said, come in, talk to us, let us know your thoughts on what's going on. I think this is going to be a really special WrestleMania, and I'm looking forward to watching it. And also, we will do our predictions 15 minutes. I think we'll start the stream about 15 minutes early to go over what our predictions are, because I will be putting the prediction title on the line. I got a pass for Stand and Deliver because it was too much. But we're still going to watch it. We'll still have some thoughts on it. Maybe we could talk a little bit about Stand and Deliver during some of the dead time between WrestleMania.
Yeah.
We could maybe do something like that. But anyway, comment, share it with your friends, subscribe, interact with us, get this video out there. It helps us out. That being said, enjoy the weekend of WrestleMania weekend. It's always a great time for wrestling. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan. And I think WrestleMania weekend, more than anything, continues to show that wrestling is a community.
Yes.
So, enjoy WrestleMania.
Later.